Lily had always been cautious when it came to social media. She didn't post too much about herself on Facebook or Instagram, and she certainly wasn't one to engage in endless online conversations with strangers. But Snapchat was different. It was more personal, a way to share her life with close friends, and her account was reserved only for people she knew well. She was 22, fresh out of college, and working her first job as a junior graphic designer in a small, tight-knit company. Lily had a solid group of friends, and for the most part, her social media activity was limited to pictures of her daily life, occasional posts from nights out, and updates about her love for photography and travel. One evening, after a long day of work, Lily sat on her couch scrolling through Snapchat, sending silly selfies and chatting with her close friends. She was looking forward to the weekend getaway she had planned with her best friend, Emily, to a cozy cabin in the mountains. That's when she received a message from an unfamiliar Snapchat user. "Hey, is this Lily? I think we went to high school together." The message was friendly and casual, and for a moment, Lily didn't think much of it. She had graduated a few years ago, and while she was still close to a few old friends, she wasn't too connected with the rest of her high school class. But the name sounded vaguely familiar, and the profile picture showed a guy with dark hair and a warm smile. Maybe she had met him at a party, or in passing during senior year. Curious, she responded, "Hey, I think I remember you. How's it going?" Almost immediately, a response came back. "I'm good. Just moved back to town after a while. I've been following your posts on here. Looks like you've been up to some exciting stuff. I saw that you went to the beach with Emily a couple of weeks ago." Lily was surprised. How did he know about that trip? She thought about the Snapchat story she had posted from the beach, but she hadn't shared the trip with anyone besides her close friends. Still, she shrugged it off. "Yeah, it was a great trip. How've you been?" The conversation quickly took off from there. His name was Jason, and over the next few hours, they exchanged messages about high school, mutual acquaintances, and how life had changed since graduation. Jason was warm, kind, and seemed genuinely interested in what Lily had to say. He asked her about her job, her passions, and even mentioned that he had been following her photography on Instagram. Lily found herself feeling comfortable around him. There was something so familiar about his tone, his ease with which he spoke. He had a way of making her feel like they had been friends all along. The next few days saw more of the same. They talked about everything: his move back to town, her new job, her love of photography. Jason shared bits and pieces of his life, and so did Lily. But it was more than just a conversation. It felt like a connection, one that had been missing in Lily's life. She was used to talking to her close friends, but they had their own lives, their own relationships. She was still single, and while she wasn't desperate, the idea of finding someone who shared her interests and was easy to talk to was a welcome distraction. As the weeks went on, Jason and Lily's conversations became more personal. They began texting daily, and they talked about everything, from their favorite movies to their childhood dreams. Jason shared that he had gone through some tough times recently, including a difficult breakup with his long-term girlfriend, and Lily could sense a vulnerability in his words. She offered him words of encouragement and empathy, which only seemed to bring them closer. One evening, as they were chatting about their plans for the weekend, Jason revealed something more personal. "I know we've only been talking for a few weeks, but I feel like I can tell you anything," he typed. "I've been so lonely lately. I miss having someone I can talk to, someone who understands me." Lily's heart went out to him. She had always been empathetic, and it wasn't hard to see that Jason was going through a tough time. He had poured his heart out, and Lily felt that it was her duty to be there for him. "I'm really glad you reached out to me," she replied. "I'm here for you, always." Over time, Jason began to rely more and more on Lily. He confided in her about his struggles with loneliness, his failed relationships, and the emotional scars from his past. Lily felt honored that he trusted her with such personal details, but at the same time, she couldn't help but feel a little overwhelmed. She wasn't a therapist, but Jason's words made her feel needed, and she had always wanted to be the person who could help others. And then, one day, Jason said something that changed everything. "I think I'm starting to develop feelings for you, Lily." I know we've only been talking for a while, but I just can't help it. You're the only person who really gets me. Lily felt a wave of warmth wash over her. She wasn't sure if she was ready for a relationship, but Jason's words stirred something inside her. He made her feel special, seen. For the first time in a long time, she felt desired and wanted. They hadn't even met in person yet, but there was something about Jason that made her heart race. I think I might feel the same way, she responded, her fingers trembling as she typed. For the next few days, the messages between them grew more intense. Jason sent her sweet compliments, expressing his admiration for her and how lucky he felt to have met her. He told her that she was the most important person in his life, and Lily couldn't help but feel flattered. She had always been somewhat reserved when it came to relationships, but with Jason, everything felt different. But then, things began to take a turn. One night, after a long conversation about their future plans, Jason sent Lily a message with a link. Hey, there's this cool app I found. It's a new way to share photos and videos with people you trust. I thought you might like it. Check it out. Lily hesitated. She had never clicked on links from people she didn't know, but Jason seemed trustworthy. They had been talking for weeks now, and he had always been so genuine. Okay, I'll check it out, she replied. The link led her to a page that asked for access to her Snapchat account. It seemed odd at first, but the design was clean, professional. She had no reason to believe it was a scam. After all, Jason had recommended it. She clicked allow, thinking it was just another app, no different from any of the others she used. But the moment she did, everything changed. Her Snapchat account, her private messages, even her photos, everything was suddenly visible to an unknown person. Her phone screen flickered, and before she could close the app, a message popped up. I've got everything I need now, Lily. Panic surged through her as she realized what had happened. She immediately logged out of her Snapchat account and changed her password, but it was too late. The damage had been done. Jason's true intentions became clear. He wasn't the charming, vulnerable man he had seemed to be. He had used her emotions against her, manipulating her kindness, her empathy, her desire to help. Lily was heartbroken. Not only had Jason tricked her into trusting him, but he had also used the connection she thought they shared to gain access to her most private information. The worst part was that she had opened up to him, shared parts of her life that she hadn't shared with anyone. She had fallen for his words, his promises, and now she was left to pick up the pieces of her broken trust. Lily's world crumbled after that night. She spent hours trying to recover her information, but the damage was irreversible. Jason had shared her personal photos and messages with others, and her reputation was in jeopardy. He had used Snapchat as a tool to trap her emotionally, gaining her trust and then exploiting it for his own satisfaction. She confronted him, but he was quick to block her, leaving her with no way to contact him. She felt humiliated and ashamed, but she was also angry. Angry at herself for being so naive, for falling into the trap that Jason had set for her. Lily didn't know what hurt more, the betrayal or the fact that she had allowed herself to be tricked by someone she had thought was her friend. She realized that while Jason had played her emotions like a puppet master, she had given him the strings. It took time, but Lily eventually healed. She learned to be more cautious with her trust, especially when it came to online interactions. She shared her story with her close friends, who supported her through the tough times. Though the scars of betrayal lingered, Lily grew stronger, more aware of the dangers that lurked in the digital world. And though she would always carry the lesson from that dark chapter, she refused to let it define her. She knew that she had been tricked, but she was determined not to let it steal her ability to love, trust, and move forward. Her Snapchat account, once a place of joy and connection, became a reminder of her journey, the path she had walked and the lessons she had learned. As for Jason, he faded into the abyss of her past, a ghost of someone she thought she knew. And though his deception had left its mark, Lily knew that she would never again be so easily fooled.